4, precious second. Curry, they'll give you 3. No, rebound. Morey space. You're wide open. It's over. The 52-year drought is over. It's over. The Cavaliers have won the NBA championship. Everybody stand up and say it's over for 54 years.
Hello everyone, welcome to Talking Sports and Stuff and Things with Chuck. As always, I am your host. Ironically, Chuck, as you heard to open that up, the great and amazing call that we'll always remember from the one and only and now late, great Fred McLeod. I'm sure you've all heard by now by the time you hear this, but Fred McLeod unexpectedly passed away today. So, the news hit me. It's very, very shocking. First of all, that call right there that you just heard, that will stay with us Cleveland Cavaliers fans forever. Absolutely burned into our memory, and we'll hear Fred's voice for as long as the rest of us are also around on this planet. Hearing that tremendous call that just finally broke that curse for us and just got that feeling, finally winning that championship, and. We're going to miss that. We're going to miss Fred. All of us guys that just love sports and love listening to people talk about sports and cover sports. We're going to miss the, that buzzer, that final buzzer sounds. Or we're going to miss hearing the, another wine and gold winner, as Fred would say, or, someone come down the lane, especially in the days of LeBron and what have you. He always had the right down Euclid as they would come down and throw one down coming down the middle of the lane. It's crazy how you almost feel like these people on a personal level. You listen to them day in and day out, year in and year out. I listen to all of these guys that talk, and you just feel like, you feel like you're part of it. I mean, I feel like if I saw that guy, he'd know who I was, just like I know who he is, which I know is absolutely silly and crazy, but when you listen to this guy talk for, 82 games a year, every year, back since 2006 when he took over, I mean, you're listening to this guy do this for 12 years. It was going to be going on 13 here. And now it's going to be gone. It's going to be different. And I really got emotional when I listened to it earlier, when I heard the news earlier, I should say. And then I started listening to some of his calls. And I was going to play several, but I thought I'd just play that one, which everybody can relate to. There's just so many anyway. It's almost do a disjustice for me to, pick and choose a few. Obviously there's a few that stand out, but all so many good ones over all the years, and just such sad news to hear. I mean, with Fred, and he reminds me of a lot of these other guys, guys like Joe Tate, who used to call for the Cavs on the radio. Then you got Jim Donovan with the Browns on the radio, Tom Hamilton for the Indians on the radio, Matt Underwood with the Indians on TV. And, you just hear these guys day in and day out, and you just almost take for granted like they're just going to be there forever, because they pretty much have been for me, for the most part. I mean, I know obviously Fred was a bit newer, but a lot of these guys have basically been doing this for as long as I've been listening to sports, and they're all I know when it comes to that. With Fred, and along with, and it's not just Fred, Tom, Jim, all these guys really, but, like when you listen to that call of Fred right there and you hear him just lose it for several minutes, it just reminds me, I think like if I were to call a Cavs game or any game for a Cleveland team, this guy is from here, Strongsville resident. He's not just doing a job. He's not just covering basketball for the heck of it. The guy loved the Cavs, passionate. He was a fan of the Cavs. And he just was lucky enough to be able to do that along with it, which is just, what a great thing for him. It had to just be so awesome. I'd give anything to do that. But, I just thought I owed it to Fred and to the fans to just start the show off first and foremost. And I know it's on a sad note, but I thought it was only right to do that in honor of someone who I loved listening to and brought so much joy to my life. And basketball fans, Cavs fans and basketball fans alike everywhere, if you appreciated the sport and you appreciate listening to good announcing as I do, I've lived around a couple different places, and I actually explore listening to different markets and different people a lot, just because it intrigues me. I love the idea of calling a game. I'd love to do it. I think it would just be a spectacular thing and a lot of fun, and I I enjoy listening to different people's, just the way they do it. Everyone has their own knack. They come at it their own approach. They got their own tactics and plan. I like listening to the different styles, just how everybody approaches it. It's great. And Fred had a great one. So emotional and very, very excitable, and it was great. So, go back and do yourself a favor. Hop on YouTube, type in Fred McLeod, and listen to some of his great calls and go back and reminisce. I know it's hard for me to hold back the tears. The emotions get to me. Again, feel like I know the guy. Never met him a day in my life. I feel like, we talked all the time because we kind of did. So, again, I know I'm starting to show off on a sad point, and we're going to move on from that. But just in memory of Fred McLeod, man. Thank you, Fred. If you can hear me wherever you are, appreciate everything you did. And I'll never forget that call, 2016 NBA Finals, when the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I listened to Fred call every one of those, that entire playoff run and that whole season playoff run, and especially those 7 games in the finals. That was absolutely amazing. And that final 30 seconds of that game, just his emotions summed it up best for all of us. So, Fred, thank you. Not an easy transition when you talk about something so sad. Try to look at the good points, try to celebrate what Fred did for us. And we'll move on here to something else. So in light of that, we'll move on here to the Indians. We will be moving on to Cavs coverage here soon. Just not enough time yet. They haven't really hopped into it yet. So we're going to go what's hot and heavy right now, which let's move on to the Cleveland Indians. The Indians right now showing just how resilient they are, as I've talked about in the past. My goodness. I mean, the team just will not give up. How many times have they been buried and left for dead? I mean, my goodness. I think it started at the beginning of the season. Probably started when Kluber went out. And now here we are again. They got swept by Tampa Bay. They were left for dead again. And here they go. Here we go again. Taking 2 out of 3 from the Twins. Here we go out to, Anaheim. Beat them yesterday. Yu Chang. The Yu Chang clan getting his first home run. Big home run, 3-run jack to really get the Indians rolling. Kind of put that game out of reach earlier on. But they just won't give up. I mean, look, you're 5 games back in the division. So we got 2 more games here coming up against the Angels tonight and tomorrow. And then you got the Twins coming in for the weekend. That's big time. I mean, you're only 5 games behind them. You're only half a game behind that second wild card spot behind Oakland, 1.5 behind Tampa, which is another reason why that 3-game sweep hurt, but only 1.5 behind them even after that. So, we gotta pack the house this weekend. I mean, we have got to show out here in Cleveland this weekend against the Twins. Let's fill the place up. Show the Indians that we support them. I mean, we just overlooked this. I mean, my goodness. Yeah, Bieber just goes out there again, 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, 1 earned run, and it's just like, whatever. We just figure that's because it's just normal. It's just normal. And we don't appreciate it. We take for granted that year in and year out, come September, the Indians are playing for something every year. Every year, even in this year. That's been a very trying year. So instead of appreciating that we're still there, we just want to be mad at them. And I know I'm beating this dead horse. I keep bringing it up, but I just keep seeing it. So I have no choice. We have a manager who just keeps this team in it no matter what the odds. And, that's something we're going to miss when he's gone. We're going to miss it when he's gone. So let's not wait till it's gone before we appreciate it. Appreciate it now. Show up this weekend. Show up and support this team against Minnesota. Let's sweep them this week and be right back in this thing. We are in it, but let's just really come on strong late, and maybe we can put the pressure on them, and they won't be able to handle it. Minnesota just tries to outslug you. They're out there just trying to hit bombs, and that's it. If we can just keep those balls in the park, we got a chance to sweep them. Obviously, they know that if I know that, because what do I know besides nothing? So, again, let's just 5 games. That's all we are. Let's appreciate the Indians. Let's get out there this weekend. Let's show them the support. Let's make it loud and show them how proud we are for the fact that every year they give us a product we can be proud of. They give us something that wants us. They should get you to the ballpark without even thinking about it. As I've said before, we try to find a reason to hate the Indians and we come up with any reason to love the Browns. It's just not fair to the Indians. Come up with a reason to love the Indians too, with everything I just said. Take all that into account. Support the Indians. Get behind them. Let me know if you disagree. I know I jumped off the top and I missed giving out everything I give out. ChuckTalksALot.com. You can go on there, subscribe. Please subscribe and go ahead and throw some ratings out there for me. Really, really helps me out. Also, shoot me an email, chucktalksalot@gmail.com. Shoot me the email. Let me know what you think about the Indians. And, am I off my rocker thinking that we can sweep the Tribe? Sweep the Tribe. That the Tribe can sweep the Twins this weekend? Let me know. And let me know if you're going to the games. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. So I'd be there Friday too, but I'm out of town. But I'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Let me know if you're going. Let's hang out, get a beer, do something like that. Let me know. Love being downtown around the ballpark. I love seeing people and hanging out with you. So shoot me an email. Let me know what you think. So with that being said, as I know everybody's probably waiting listening to this, yes, we're going to move on to the Browns. We're going to move on to the Browns because, of course, we are. We all know how I feel about the Browns. First things first, the weekend leading up to the game, amazing. Tailgate, off the charts as always. A lot of people come out and stop by and saw me. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Of course, I had my regular crew and our normal crew of about 50 people were there, but had a lot of people kind of stopping out and saying hi. That was awesome. So appreciate you guys doing that, coming to say hi. It was a really good time. Of course, a lot of that changed once we got into the game. A little bit of a rocky start. You were still in it. And then, of course, it all went sideways, as we know. I'm not going to break down this whole game. By now, you've all heard it 100 times. There's no point in me beating that dead horse. Pretty simple, right? I'll just touch on a few things. 180-some yards and penalties. You're not going to win. Okay, we take that out of the game. I don't know that we win, but my goodness, it's a different ball game. I mean, you might as well spot them 20 points if you're going to do that. So that's just silly. You're not going to win games when you do that. You clean that up. I think the rest will kind of come into play. I mean, Baker played really good up until the last of the fourth quarter. You look at his stats. I don't have them in front of me. I did read it earlier today, though. I mean, the guy's numbers going into the fourth quarter were great. They were great. There's no two ways about it. And then fourth quarter, the wheels fell off. And that had a lot to do with the penalties and then them chasing from behind. And Tennessee could just pin their ears back and come at you. And our O-line looked really bad. They obviously need to step it up a little bit. Play calling was suspect, getting away from the run. Early, I think it was 7 handoffs in the first half. Not acceptable. You definitely need to run the ball way more. It's what we did last year. It's what made us successful. Don't get away from it. It's one game. Look, it's one game. I'm not going to overreact, even though I did. All right, let's just get to that. I did overreact after the game, and I let the trolls on social media get at me. And that's my bad on my part. I'm very emotional, as we all know. Look, I wear this stuff on my sleeve. It's no secret. Everyone that follows me on whether it's Twitter, Facebook, whatever, or if you just know me, everybody knows what teams I like. Everyone knows who I root for. I don't hide it because I'm proud of it, and I love it, and everyone knows that. You know how I live it. Living my life is doing this stuff. So I got to learn that means I invite the comments. I invite trolls. I invite the haters as I sport my haters hat in my videos, as you guys see. So I got to learn to be better, and I'll admit that we all got to get better at a lot of things. I got to get better at taking that criticism. I got it. Look, it's low hanging fruit. Browns got beat. It's easy. The reaction I get. Oh, see, you're going to be a 500 team, which you can think that, but just don't state it to me as fact. If you think the Browns are going to be 500, that's great. I don't think they are. I think they're going to be better than that, and I still do. But when people come at you with that, just like, see, look, they're a 500 team. No, it's, see, look, I think they're a 500 team. Just stating it as fact and like I'm supposed to accept it is just silly. We don't know that. I don't know that they're going to be better, and you don't know they're going to be worse. So, but again, I let it get at me, and I can't do that. People who you wouldn't even know who their favorite team is. You wouldn't know if somebody liked the Tennessee Titans. You'd have no idea. But yet, they're going to come at me real quick about how that's their team. Again, still on me. Still got to learn to accept it. I just got to stay off of them social media pages till maybe the next day. If not until several hours after the game. I need to just let it settle in a little bit. Let the emotions simmer down a little bit. But that reminds me of another thing that happened, leading up to the game. And I'd like to give out my award. I don't know that I've given one out the last 2 weeks, but my Who the Hell Is This Clown award goes to, I won't name a name, don't know that that's fair, but what that person told me was this. I was told, and this is a quote, it's easy to be a Browns fan. Now, sorry I got quiet right there, but I actually had to just read that to make sure. Yep, that's exactly what was said to me. It's easy to be a Browns fan. I'm not going to break down everything because we would have a whole episode that was 2 hours long talking about all of the things that have happened in my lifetime being a Browns fan. Now, I have friends that are fans of teams who I've seen already say that they're done. They got wore out after the first game this year. They're not Browns fans, but their team lost, and that was it. They're done. They can't take it no more. They put too much time and energy into it, and they've had enough. And that's okay. I can respect that. No problem there. You do what makes you happy. I get it. The misery is tough. But to tell me that it's easy to be a Browns fan, first of all, you realize I just sat through 1-31, right? 1-31. I was a blocked field goal away from being 0-32. We almost went 0-16 back-to-back. If the pierogi Prince of Parma doesn't get his big claw up there and block that field goal, we are losing 32 straight. And that is the tip of the iceberg, my friends. I don't need to rattle down the things that happened from the time I was a kid. You want to go back to the 80s? Because I was watching the Browns then too. I watched the drive and the fumble. I watched us leave this city for 3 years and not even have a football team. I've watched us be the worst team in football since 1999. The worst. I watched us win 2 games, 3 games, 1 game, 2 games, 0 games, 4 games. I lived through all of it. And that's easy. And part of the reason you want to tell me it's easy is just solely based on the fact that because I live in Cleveland, that makes it no easier. That makes it no easier to be a Cleveland Browns fan. Matter of fact, it might make it more difficult. When I lived in North Carolina for 9 years, I was separated. And I didn't have to worry about it. As far as I wasn't just immersed in it. If I wanted to get away from it, it was a little bit easier. A little bit easier. Even though I never did, I couldn't escape it because I almost love to torture myself, I guess. But I just had to bring up the fact that somebody said that. So I would love some input from you guys. All right? Go on my Facebook page. If you always don't want to send me emails, that's great. I don't get a lot of emails, to be honest with you. I wish I got way more. I would respond to them if I got more. If that's too much, just go on the Facebook page and comment. Start a thread. I'll get it started. I'll get something up there tonight. When I put the link up, after you listen, go back to the link and comment. Just go ahead and shoot a comment on there. Go on Twitter, tweet at me, at Chuck Go Browns or at Chuck Talks a Lot. Go check those out. Tweet at me. Facebook page, talking sports and stuff and things with Chuck. That's the Facebook page. Go on there. I'd like to have some dialect conversation. Do you think it's easy to be a Cleveland Browns fan? I want to know if anyone else other than the one person who said that to me believes it. And if so, I need to hear it from you. I need to know why. I need to know why it's easy. And I think this past Sunday was just another reason that shows you why. The time when I didn't have to basically fake myself into building up this game because I can rattle off the names and the talent we actually have versus me trying to pretend like Brandon Whedon's good. And we still just got beat. So please let me know what you guys think about that. But that was actual fact. I was told that. Told it's just easy to be a Cleveland fan. I mean, I lived in North Carolina for 9 years. I lived there when the Cavs were on their run. Let me tell you what. A lot of people down there, they don't like LeBron James. They hate LeBron James. And they love some Steph Curry. So everyone down there was rooting for the Golden State Warriors. Not everyone, but a lot of people rooting for them Warriors against the Cavs in all those series, let alone that one right there that came down. We were down 3-1. I had to put up with a lot of smack. And I know it ain't easy, but to use it as that basis, again, I won't dwell on it, but I was at a loss for words, man. Like, I was completely at a loss. Oh, it's easy to be a Browns fan. Give me a break. Wow. All right, well, you let me know when your team goes 1-31, and that's not even the worst thing you've seen. Let me know how easy it is to root for your team. So anyway, on to New York. Monday night coming up against the Jets. Highly anticipate this game being obviously the Browns have got to look 100 times better. They can't look worse. Obviously, the other thing coming into this game is, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold will forever be linked. So here we go again. The next battle between those two. Going to be great. Going to be awesome to see. I think Baker also knows that he's tied to him. And those two going head-to-head is always going to be just a test of who made the right decision and so on and so forth. So looking forward to Monday night for that game. Going to be awesome. Glad I don't have to worry about missing the Indians game Sunday, so that'll be great news. Looking forward to that. I'll be at the stadium to watch, so I know they're not at home, but going to a watch party, and greatly looking forward to it. And speaking of the Browns, to wrap up the Browns talk here, in case anybody missed it or didn't see the link I posted, go to my Facebook page as I mentioned, or go to the Twitter account. I actually was a guest on a show in Ireland on Monday morning, and the podcast just came out today. Come across a guy, we've become friends, Twitter friends, just because he runs a podcast talking about the Browns and stuff, and he wanted to extend out a little bit, start getting some Cleveland people on the show. He came across my podcast, started listening to it, and liked it, so he had me on as a guest. So if you go on to again the Facebook page or the Twitter page, I have his information up there. I got the page that you can easily go ahead and listen to it, and please check him out, subscribe to them, listen to him. Great content, John and Neil, they do a great job. Awesome guys to listen to. So please check that out. Really awesome. I thought having a discussion and going through my weekend of my Browns journey with someone in Ireland who obviously, and as you listen to the podcast, he'll explain what he has to go through to watch those games. It's a bit different. So please check it out. I think you'll really enjoy it. And I think you'll enjoy listening to their content that they have moving forward. So please do so. With that being said, we'll move on here to, I know that I get a lot of people saying, hey, we're going to talk about some college football and fantasy football. So yeah, the answer to that is yes. So, but with that, I haven't had a chance to follow the college football scene as much as I've liked. I'll get much more into a normal routine now moving forward. This home opener for the Browns owns my life for about 2 weeks. That much time and preparation goes into what I got to do to get ready for the people that come into town, the tailgate that we have. It's a lot of time and effort, and I love every second of it, but it does eat up all of my free time that I have. So I'll be able to move into a little bit more of a normal routine now, so I'll be catching my million football games a day and watching all the games and the teams. But the couple things I have been able, obviously I keep up on the Buckeyes. 2 weeks ago, didn't have the greatest showing. It was an okay game, and it led people to, talk all week about, better watch out for Cincinnati, which I thought was incredibly ridiculous. And I passed that sentiment along to people in my conversations. I'm like, I don't understand where this concept comes that all of a sudden we're not going to play good against Cincinnati, and they play us tough in the past, and so on and so on. And I thought it was crazy, and I called for the fact that we're going to blow them out, and you have exactly that. We blew them out. And moving on to then the people who love to talk the smack to me when it comes to Michigan, the Air Force game was something. I didn't get to watch. I was following it on my phone as I was obviously, again, preoccupied that entire Saturday with getting ready for Sunday. But I couldn't believe the fact that this team who every year this is going to be year they're going to be good. This is the year Michigan's going to be good. Been hearing that for 10 years. And this was the year, and they really probably should have lost to Air Force. But they won, and a win is a win. Doesn't matter. They got the win. Congrats to them. They pulled it out. They overcame the adversity, and they won the game. But I do think it's a little amazing with a lot of smack talk was coming from that school up north last week when Ohio State apparently, was gonna, didn't play good and was gonna lose to Cincinnati. I got a lot of that feedback my way in my interactions that I have. But my goodness, that was an interesting thing. So regardless, in the grand scheme of things, they won, so it doesn't mean anything. They could come out this week and win by 40. I understand that, but going to be interesting to follow these two, and I will definitely get more input on those two teams and the rest of the college scene moving forward. So let me know what you guys want me to cover when it comes to college. Do you want me would you like my feedback on every game, top 10, top 25? Stick to mainly Ohio State, Michigan stuff with them being the local teams. Let me know. Let me know what you think. You want me to cover smaller? We want to talk about OU, Cincinnati. What do you guys want? Let me know so I know what to cover, so I know what you guys will be entertained with and what you'll like to hear. I'd love to. I'll put my focus on that when I sit down on Saturday to watch my football for 12 hours. So please let me know. Another thing, and I did forget to touch on this, so I'm gonna revert back. I apologize, but let me rewind here for a second to jump back to the NFL with the fact that that Steeler game Sunday night. So I will talk about the Steelers here briefly, mainly because leading up to the season, and I won't beat this dead horse about the hype train that everybody wanted to tell me how ridiculous it was, and the hype, and the Browns are all hype and they're terrible and this and that. Fine, but then I also had these conversations, and I did touch on this in previous podcast episodes about, look, you're missing Antonio Brown, you're missing Le'Veon Bell. And I just kept being told that Juju Smith-Schuster is as good as Antonio Brown, and Connor will be just fine taking over for Le'Veon. And, the fact that Ben Roethlisberger is getting older doesn't matter. Now, granted, I also know that the playing in Foxborough is Pittsburgh's kryptonite. We all, a lot of teams have that. That is Pittsburgh's, but man, just got shellacked. And I'm not downplaying that and overshadowing the fact that the Browns did also get shellacked, but just the fact that what I had spoke about came to fruition. No Le'Veon Bell, no Antonio Brown. Roethlisberger's getting older. It's all out there for you to see. It does matter, and losing these generational talents does matter. Now, if you still had Antonio Brown, would that be good? Obviously not. The guy is absolutely off the deep end. Although I like to throw in something very interesting that I just noticed today. Since he was signed by the Patriots, Antonio Brown has not put one thing on his Instagram. So what does that have to tell you? Is he already conformed to the Patriot way? Who knows how long this obvious collusion was going on with the fact that he ended up with the Patriots right after he got cut by the Raiders. And, we all are familiar with the story. Obviously, there was back channel talking going on there, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But, was it agreed to beforehand? Like, all right, do your best to get out of Oakland. We'll bring you in, but you just have to not do it, and he's willing to listen. Only time will tell. I mean, I doubt it. I don't think the guy's going to stay on the straight and narrow, but who the heck knows? It just, whatever the magic elixir that, whether it's Belichick has going on there or it's Brady or whoever, they've taken a lot of people in there over the years, the Randy Mosses and the Corey Dillons and, the people that just thought they were going to be headaches and nightmares, and it doesn't seem that way once they're there. So, now they got Josh Gordon. That's a whole other conversation I don't even want to get into, how that guy got reinstated magically. And for the Browns, it took them 10 years to find out when he's playing a game. And in New England, poof, you're playing. So, but anyway, more the point I wanted to get to was the fact that there you have it with the Steelers, man. Who knows what's going to bring? Again, it's only one game, and it's not fair for me to play that card with the Browns and not give the Steelers the same chance. So I am. It is only one game. So the NFL is a week-to-week thing, as we've all seen. Worst team can beat the best team, and so on and so forth. So we're going to see. This week is big, though, for these teams. I don't like calling things must-win until it really is. But my goodness, after this week, the Browns got Jets Monday night. Then we're coming home, and we got the Rams on Sunday night. I mean, we all know what the Rams are. They're one of the best teams in the entire NFL. So you're going to, you go into that game, and you're 0-2. Well, you're staring 0-3 in the face. Because obviously playing at home with a bunch of hype doesn't help, because that's what we had this past Sunday, and it didn't help. So even though that Sunday night with the Rams is going to be electric, and it's going to feel just like that game, man. It's going to be packed house. Everyone's going to be going nuts. And it's going to really help when we beat the Jets. That will definitely get everyone's spirits right back up to where they were. So let's get that started, and let's remember it's a one-game deal. So, other than that, guys, I know it's a little bit shorter episode, but I am going to start doing maybe a couple a week. So I'll probably start keeping these things right back to 30 like I was before. So we'll see how that is. I'd say the last thing I might touch on, though, is something. I've been doing a lot of traveling lately. If anyone who follows me notices, been doing a lot of, down to North Carolina and back with, having to get down there for friends and different things that we've had planned over the last year after we moved back and so on. But anyway, my point being, spent a lot of time at airports here as of late. And something I just wanted to, I wonder if anybody else experiences this, but man, I tell you what, I make a lot of really good friends at airports, especially in an airport bar. This last trip I just took, I made 2 friends at 2 different airport bars in a matter of an hour that, these guys were buying me drinks. We were talking sports like as if we grew up together. It was awesome. And I got to thinking about it as it happened. I'm like, boy, you know what? every time I'm at an airport, I'm arrive way early guy, so I'm not just going through security and then going to my airplane. I always have way too much time because I'm paranoid. So I get to the airport 2.5 hours before my flight. I get through security in 20 minutes, and the next thing I know, I have over 2 hours to kill for my flight boards. So I get myself a nice, plus when it's not a bad thing, because when you walk into an airport, time ceases to exist. When you're leaving, that is. Coming home is a different story, because you're usually tired and now you're depressed. But when you're traveling away to start your vacation, once you're in the airport, there's no rules. It doesn't matter if it's 9 in the morning or 9 at night. You're allowed to have beer and drinks. You can eat deep fried whatever when you want. It's fantastic. So maybe that's it. Maybe all these people I find are also leaving, and actually typically they are. And my goodness, I just tend to sit down at a bar, and next thing I know, me and whoever I'm talking to, we're talking like we hung out the last several weekends, and we've covered where we work, what we do, what teams we like, and before you know it, we're buying each other drinks and shots, and we're just, all of a sudden we hate to leave when it's time to board our flight because we're just having such a good time. Does anybody else experience that? Because I experienced it a lot. And again, especially the last time I was there, my goodness, I ran into a guy who was just coming in. Originally was from stinking Girard. Now, granted, I know it was in Cleveland, but this guy lives in I think it was Colorado now. But this guy just happened to sit down for me from Girard, and so next thing you know, we were best friends, and we're talking about sports, and this guy's buying me beer after beer, and we had the best time. So anybody else make airport best friends? Because I make a lot of airport best friends. So that was just something I was curious about if anybody else ever actually experienced that. So anyways, we'll go ahead and wrap it up there. Just appreciate you guys listening again. ChuckTalksALot.com. Please pick whatever platform you like. Subscribe there. If you can, give me a rating, maybe write a review. That stuff really helps me out. It just takes a couple seconds of your day, and I would greatly appreciate that. So other than that, guys, hope you all have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you soon. We might get another episode in later this week. If not, we'll get one out early next week. Maybe just after the Browns game Monday night. So as always, be good or be good at it. And remember, don't look down on someone unless you're helping them up. See ya.